Hello, Arnauld. Thank you so much for joining us for this Color Visions interview. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Thank you. And you?
Everything's great. A pleasure to have you here. So listen, before we begin, I wanted to ask you, what color could define your mood in this moment?
What color? I have to choose one. Or I have two colors, in fact. One color is really linked to my the sensation. You know, we had in Paris a very nice sky, and this sky was the blue I knew when I was a kid in Marseille. You know, in the south of France, when you have a lot of winds, you have very blue sky, and it's amazing. And this is the sensation. But the real color which defines my mood today is the white, because it reveals everything, and it's kind of neutral. Just revealing things.
Okay, we try to put a morning white, calming color. And what memory would this color trigger for you?
When I think about the blue, I already said it about Marseille, but when I think about the white, it's just a question of relationship. If you ask me which color, I think about the way the white light contains all the colors, and it reveals it in object or the world. So it reminds me all the interaction. You know, we had a very strange period because it was very hard to interact. We had a lot of digital interaction with people, and I really miss the way we interact directly.
Right. No, I get that. And what about you? What is your passion in life?
My main passion in life is having good surprises. It's the real word is creativity. You know, when everything creative, I really enjoy it. So whatever it's a device or a piece of art or a relationship or a thought or I read from books or anything. I really love to be surprised and to get new point of views.
Well, because you are actually a creative, right? So what actually is your field of expertise, and what do you do in life?
Yeah, I'm a designer. I'm like a more strategic and creative director than a proper designer, even if I just still design things. But yeah, I'm a designer, so I'm in the creative field, of course.
Okay, that's awesome. And from a personal point of view, how are you personally navigating this pandemic that we're living currently?
I think that's why it's really linked to the white color. I really had kind of how can I say it? It's kind of retreat, you know. We're just ending 2 months of being kind of isolated. I was in my home with my wife and my last kid. The others are left the house, and it was kind of retreat. And I started those 2 months with 2 weeks with the disease itself, because I was sick. So everything after that, after 2 weeks, everything was very positive and peaceful, you know. I think it's a real mess outside, but I really lived it like getting good surprises. Everything is very smooth after that. You know, it was not, I have to be accurate. I was not very, 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 very sick. You know, I had very light version of the COVID.
Okay.
But you think about, even if it's light, I'm sorry, I have to.
No problem.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a light version, but you think about the evolution, and you ask yourself a lot of questions about family, the dangers, and everything. And so since 1 month and a half, I just live like a retreat. You know, time to think, time to spend time with friends on phone, time to work properly, and time to eat well and make food and everything. So very simple things like for a retreat. I'm very, very surprised by that.
Okay, it's great to see that you're doing well and that you're healthy now, and that you're being able to enjoy.
Yeah. It was very, very light version, but but yeah, it was very strange. It's a real experience.
What,
sorry.
I can imagine. And regarding what comes after this, what do you see for the after pandemic, and what do you think the world actually needs after this?
The question is what I think we need, or what I think will happen.
Both.
I'm a bit kind of fed up with people, the rich, the wealthy people, talking about frugality, about resilience in French, and those kind of things, because they, as usually, they just put their own concern at the center of the table. The aftermath of this pandemic will be awful, I think, will be very, very, very awful for people who will have no choice at all to just go back to work, and with no money, with the debt, with the real problems with banks, with all the daily issues. So it's very, very easy for me to say, yeah, I want to people love each other and to live in a frugal way and everything. Okay, of course I do. And of course, it's just exactly what I said with my retreat thing. You know, I have a good apartment, nice apartment with lights, and we could isolate ourselves. So I'm very, very, very lucky to get this opportunity. But for the society, it will be a real mess. It will be a real mess. The other thing is, I really don't believe that people who didn't help anybody before the pandemic will start today. You know, when you see people just starving on the streets, the number of people just sitting 2 minutes and giving them help, the number of people is very, very few, and I'm not sure it will change at all after the pandemic. The good thing is, yeah, okay, let's see it on the good. The good thing is maybe starting from the pandemic events, maybe people will say thank you to the cashier, to the people serving them every day. Maybe they will start to give a bit of consideration. Maybe, I hope so, and it's good news, but it's not exceptional. And to be honest about the global change of the society, the pandemic is a real accelerator. All the things were already here. You know, the end of the petrol era started 5 years ago. The end of growth started 5 years ago. The real growth, the growth with the benefit for people. I'm not talking about the fake growth with the financial issue question, but the real. So all those shifts started like 5 or 10 years ago, right. And it would be a real moment to see if if the pandemic will be a kind of excuse for the people who really relies on the status quo to justify very bad constraints for people, or if altogether we think about this shift in a smoother way. The shift about consuming a little bit more smartly, maybe to give more sense, more meaning in relationships, of those kind of things. I really hope it will happen, of course, but we will face a real huge choice. Are we going to a kind of a surveillance grid society, you know, with a real business concentration? It will be the case, of course, because the richest companies are buying all the falling companies today.
The small businesses.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very weird. We will have maybe 5 or 6 companies ruling the world in 6 months from now. So this is the worst part, and for the better is just the consideration between people. I think I think we all touched the kind of the value of very simple things.
So Right, and you talk a lot about the negative impact that could be happening and that we can see as an impact. No, but it's true. But do you think that those things that are going to impact us after could maybe be the birth of new values in our society?
Yeah, I really hope so, and I really hope so, and I know it. I'm really sure it will. It will take time. I just want to imagine that in 2 years from now, it will be a real. There will be a real difference. I think it will take maybe 4 or 5 years, because we need to reinvent the real things, the KPIs for the public living, the KPIs for people, the way we go to vote. You know, the responsibility of the people we elect, and those kind of things, and maybe what is happening now could be, maybe will be, I hope, a trigger for self-responsibility. You know, to say, okay, if I do agree with everything, I stay at home. If I don't, I have to fight for it, and I have to act for it at least. So I'm pretty sure the shifts we are living are very, very positive. At the end of the day, it will be very positive, because there is a real deep movement of self-consciousness, and it's a real good thing. My point is, the pandemic is not a good thing. It's not at all a good thing, and the short-term results will be awful. I'm afraid of. So it will be after 2 or 3 years. If we go back to a kind of a Marshall Plan, you know, the post-war smart decisions to help people, to bring back people to real life, to good life, and then it will be very linked to the sorry. Maybe the pandemic will be considered like a kind of a trigger, but everything already existed just before.
Right, and just an accelerator of the.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I say to my kids. You know, I hope they will live maybe 75 or 80, 90 years, and in 70 years from now, they will say, okay, we remember to 2020, and it was a real thing. It was a real thing, because after that we change our minds and everything. I just think it's very important to think about the short term, because we will have to vote, we will have to act, we will have to be sportive, and to interact, and to otherwise it will be worse. The world can be worse. It's not a point of view. When we see what is happening with the robot dogs in Singapore today, it's worse thing ever. You know, when you have no trust at all in citizens, when you quit all the trust, and it's a real threat for our society.
Absolutely.
When there is no trust, there is no society. So I think we will have to take care of it. We have to take care of it.
Absolutely. And for you, as a creative, do you hope to be able to contribute to this change in any way? And do you think your way of work will change with this?
The pandemic is not linked to it. I quit a very nice position in a huge group 4 years ago. Not because it was uncomfortable, but because it was too much comfortable. So I really, I think we have to make a real link between the pleasure and the responsibility for the planet, for human beings. So we have to think differently, and the designers, of course, have to think differently, because the short fashion things, the fast fashion, and those kind of things are really awful for the planet and for people who just spend money on something they won't use at all. So if we make a link between the long-lasting products the good quality and with an affordable price, which is a price without all the brand markets and those kind of things. And we just make very accurate proposals in terms of design. I think we will meet real success. So today, as a designer, I just want to focus on that, not the cheap products or not the high luxury products, but just the products which will be good for myself, my kids, and the planet, of course. And so but it didn't start with the pandemic, of course.
Of course,
there are a lot of designers, engineers who already started it.
As you said, it started before, and it's just...
Yeah, of course. In France, I think it's 2 years earlier, 2018.
Yeah.
We had thousands of young engineers who signed a paper, who signed a kind of law saying that they won't work at all for a high for the companies which will not put sorry, I'm sorry.
No problem.
I think I don't remember the number of engineers. It was like 13,000 engineers who just declared they wanted to work for polluting companies. So it's a real new thing. It's very huge, and for me it's a very good sign. Yeah,
it's coming from before and it's starting. Yeah, I get that, absolutely. And from the business perspective, more specifically, do you think that businesses are going to adapt and change their practices after this? And do you think maybe even that company leaders will care more about their employees' well-being?
You know, the market is starting from the people. So if people just go back to their previous habits and they buy the same shitty products, in fact, nothing will change.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine said in French is if you have pigeons, you have a bad trap. If you have pigeons, you will get the bad trap. You know, it's not a question of company offering. It's a question of will people still buy
demand something different
stuff. Yeah. And if yes, I hope some leaders will, of course, adapt themselves to this new offer. So it's question of, it's a circle. The offer doesn't come from the company. The offer comes from a circle between the company and the people. So that is the heart of the job of a designer, and the heart of the, you know, with the prospectivists, with the company we are founding. Our role is to understand how the company can adapt to the future needs, not the ancient needs, but just to understand the future needs and then to adapt their own offer. So it's a question of circle, but you have to be well balanced between the two sides. It's not only a question of offer, otherwise it doesn't work.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And you talked about what you're doing with the perspective and the future. How do you visualize the digital transformation that we're going through?
There is a new digital era just opening now, and it's based on the needs more than in the technology or the operations. You know, the companies just took the digital tools and put all their stuff in it like the ancient way. So it's magical for technicians, but it's awful for people.
Yeah.
Today, and it just started like 3 or 4 years ago only. All the platforms start now from the user's point of view, from the human point of view. All the design starts from the user experience, about the sensation, emotion, and the needs. The real needs, of course, the usability of the proposal. But it starts from the human, and it works for the politics of the city, a smart city. It works for a device or for anything, for a service. And so the digital era opening now is based on the real needs instead of the technology. Technologies are able to do everything now. Okay, you have no
Sure.
no limits. So we have to put it in a human way. And so that's the new digital era is will be more humanized. Otherwise, it's very stupid. You know, when we talk about artificial intelligence, it means it's artificial, and
it's not real.
We need real things. We need real relationships. We need real interaction, and all the tools like Hammer or like the EI or like iPhone or anything. There are tools. So if they work, we just use it every day, and it's not there is no magic on it. It's just a tool, a new tool
for human-to-human connections.
Yeah, it's for human connection. It's for human accomplishments. You know, even Microsoft, they just started again 5 years ago with the new CEO saying our target is to allow people to do more.
Absolutely.
It's way more interesting than our target is to sell stuff, shitty stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Arnaud, thank you so much for your insight. It was very interesting and very insightful. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.